Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys, as I do every month, all about my favorites and flops for the month of February. These are the list of products that I have been loving and some that have been just a little disappointing to me this month. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week, and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to see what my favorites and flops for this month were, keep on watching. So I'm going to get it out of the way and just give you guys the disclaimer. I am wearing all of these products on my face today. I'm going to actually start with the first disappointment just because it is that disappointing. So as you guys know, the Diorskin Forever Foundation has been my absolute favorite going on like 3 years now. It is a beautiful foundation. The finish is amazing. It is the perfect shade match for me. Dior discontinued this foundation. That hurts. They did come out with a new, and I'll post a picture, glow and matte formula instead, so that this one was kind of like replaced by 2. When I was in Sephora, I looked at this shade versus that one. The new one is so yellow. I no longer have a shade in Dior foundation because I guess they decided that the pinky undertone that those of us with more pink skin needed is no longer necessary. So fail of the month, number 1 is Dior for getting rid of my shade and my favorite foundation all at once. The next favorite, this actually, I did get it in my BoxyCharm. This is the Touch in Sol No PoreBlem Primer. This one is actually mine from before that because I've always had it, I've always liked it, but because it came in BoxyCharm, I've been reaching for it very frequently because it kind of reinvigorated my love for it, and now I've been reaching for it every single day like clockwork, no exceptions, no nothing. It is a very velvety, smooth formula. It does blend out smooth and seamlessly, and it just diffuses any and blurs any lines on the skin just to make everything pores the works look extra porcelain. The next few items came out of my full face of first impressions, which I will link right here. The first is the Beauty Bakerie Flour Setting Powder. This is in the shade Translucent. This is such a finely milled powder. It is such a soft powder. It almost reminds me of like cornstarch. That's how thin it is. It is a beautiful formula that wears so well. It helps to keep my oils at bay all day long. And this is like the only powder I've been reaching for all month. Also out of that video was the Makeup Revolution Fast Based Concealer. I also used this in a most recent full face drugstore, which I will link here as well. I did call it the Makeup Forever, and I meant to say Makeup Revolution. It was right in the description box. It was wrong in that video. But this reminds me so much of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless brightening pen. This. It is an absolutely beautiful formula. It blends out so seamlessly and it wears so well throughout the day. Doesn't settle into fine lines, doesn't crease, and it doesn't accentuate any texture. What more can you want? Next out of that video that I loved was the Prime and Fine Professional Contouring Palette from Catrice. This also reminds me of the Sculpt and the Sculpt and Glow Duos from, that is also Charlotte Tilbury. So this is such a beautiful powder. It is, at first I thought that it was like not quite pigmented enough, but honestly, I don't like when a contour is too pigmented because I find when you try to build it up, it gets too muddy. Like my face is done and I'm very happy with how everything looks. But if I did want to take a tiny bit more of this powder and really just sharpen up the contour just right there, it's not going to get muddy, it's not going to get overwhelming. And honestly, it just looks so beautiful. Like for, I think it was $3, you cannot beat it. And the last thing out of that video, I have loved the Make It Last setting spray from Milani forever. I recently discovered the charcoal matte formula and it is just as good, if not better. It keeps me matte throughout the day. I did use it in that video and I didn't love it at first because the mister was weird. It says shake me. It says shake and spray 10 inches from the face. So as long as you give it a good shake first and you hold it a safe distance away, you're going to get that same beautiful mister that we know and love from Milani without any of that like jet spray effect. But you got to make sure that you're reading the instructions because the worst thing is when you do something wrong with the makeup and you blame the makeup. I messed this up. Full disclosure, that was my fault. I'm owning that and I'm loving this. So now that we've spoken about our more affordable favorites, I'm going to jump into some luxury. I recently got my hands on the Ambient Unlocked palette from Hourglass. This was a holiday edition item and I've been using this all month. It is beautiful. It is most of the eyeshadows I'm wearing today. It is most of the complexion stuff I'm wearing on the face today. It just does diffuse light so beautifully. The shades are very flattering. This is beautiful for the under eye. I do like to use this as like a pre-contour. This is a beautiful bronzer. I like to mix the two blushes here, and I love the highlighting shade. I actually have also been really mixing these two in my crease as a nice transition color for pretty much any look. You really cannot get more versatile than this. I know there's a lot of hype and I guess animosity surrounding this because if you go by the ounce weight, you're getting less product in here than the value. It's like you're getting $40 of product for $80, but honestly, I'm never gonna go through a full size of one of their pans, so to get the 6 minis all in one for me is perfect. I have been looking and putting together stuff for dupe videos, and I finally, because they did bring it back, this is the Sephora MicroSmooth Powder. It is in the shade 15. This is such a soft, focused, diffusing powder, and I found that this is a very close dupe for my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless base. It is just as smooth, just as soft, and it diffuses light in such a way that it's not a flat matte finish, but it's a powder, so it's still gonna set down your oils. But when you want a little bit more of that like skin glow without it looking super matte or super heavy, it is such a finely milled powder. My skin looks like skin when I use it. It is just all around a great powder, and it's like 20 bucks, which, I mean, I know it's Sephora, so it's not drugstore product pricing, but I mean, it's comparable to Charlotte Tilbury for $20. Definitely worth picking up. The lip gloss I'm wearing today is the Lip Maximizer Hyaluronic Plumper from Dior. This is in the shade 12. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the way it just gives you a soft shine on the lips. You guys know I have been a fan of the Fenty glosses for a very long time. I did wear that on my wedding day. Like, it is a beautiful gloss. I like this one more, and the Fenty I think gives you a little bit more shine and a little bit more glow. But if you layer up the Fenty and you reapply it and reapply it throughout the day, it does get a little creepy, and every now and then you have to take the whole thing off and start over. I've worn this 16 hours straight, reapplying, reapplying, reapplying. It never gets gooky, it never gets gunky, and it always looks beautiful. And the last favorite for the month, this is the Metalist Sparkling Foiled Pigment from Touch in Soul. This is in shade number 1. I am wearing it on my lids today. They're very, like, soft, so you have to be careful that you go in with a light hand. But they are this beautiful foiled pigment. And when you take this and you press it in, be very gentle and very careful because you will get fallout. But just look at the shine on that. It is absolutely beautiful. It catches the light so well. There are 7 shades that I saw at Sephora, so there may be more coming out, or Touch in Soul might have only given 7 to Sephora, but this was the one that I think is the most universal for me. It is light enough that I could pack it over pretty much any other color and still get that desired effect without having it to be quite as strictly champagne. But I do love the champagne effect, and it is a stunning color. Hands down something I've been so happy to play with. And I did want to mention, I did, and I'll link the video here, a full review on the Jeffree Star and Morphe collection. There was one brush that stood out above the rest, and one product that I think was a disappointment for me. I love the Morphe sponges. They're absolutely beautiful, but the baby sponges in the set are just not for me. I don't like such a tiny little sponge. I would rather just use the tip of my beauty blender and get the same effect. I find that these tiny little sponges, maybe my fingers are big, I don't know, but they are not for me. However, the number 2 brush, which is the full face powder brush, it is so soft, it is so luxurious, and it is so affordable. This is just one of those brushes that I feel like whether I'm touching up, whether I'm just kind of blending things together, it is such a uniform shape and universal need. I think I've used this every single day since I opened the brushes and used it for that video. Hands down, a brush that I think I may need to get a second one of just to be safe because it is that stunning. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know down below what some of your favorites for the month were. Like I say in pretty much every video, when you guys leave me comments with what your favorites are, that's usually what I go off of for suggestions of things I should be trying next or things I should be keeping an eye out for. So once again, thank you for watching and I will see you guys next time. Bye!